Hey guys, it's Brett. So I wanted to make one of these videos. Every now and then, as you know, I'll have an interaction with a client or a training session with a dog that kind of sparks an idea of what maybe would be a good topic for a video. So as most trainers already know, unless they're living in some kind of delusional world, is that the dogs listen differently to different people. I always do videos about this, is that are we really training dogs? In the past, and of course, conditioning, instinct, there's a lot of other factors coming into why a dog does or doesn't listen, or why they have certain behavioral, problems or habits that are good or bad. But a lot of times these dogs won't demonstrate these behavior patterns, in the presence of certain people, or let's say their trainer, or during a training session, or in one environment versus the other. So what I've learned is that we have to address where they aren't showing their best potential. And there are dogs that just across the board, they have this issue. There's no differentiation no matter who they're around. They give me a run for my money, even though I'm a pretty good dog handler. Home, strange environments, doesn't matter. But some dogs, it's very specific. Like they'll listen to one owner and not the other. They'll listen when it's, let's say, the adults, but the kids, or the kids around when these adults who they listen to are training them, they don't listen as well. So I find that, showing the dog the ability to navigate and focus and take commands in training, especially when you're addressing problem behaviors at these specific times, shows them that we can step in and create this, organization, this pack order, whatever you want to call it, at the times where the imbalances or the erratic nature is happening. And that's, again, the recipe why dogs have behavior problems. They get overstimulated, they feel out of alignment with the everyday big picture of things, and then they're acting out. And as a dog living around us, they just don't know what to do, and that's your behavioral issue. So why do I make this video right now? So I have a client who I saw, it must be close to like 8 months, maybe 6 months ago, something like that. I have to look. But we saw as a puppy. I remember distinctly because most people who hire me get the gist by, kind of seeing what I put out there when we talk on the phone or email when they first are inquiring to hire me. They get the idea that it's not just me coming in and training their dog and leaving. I wish it was. I would just train your dog and leave, and it's like I'm repairing your oven. It's like, all right, good, you can use it, we're good. Dogs, it's like I say, relational. So they're going to listen to one person differently than another. And if I can teach an owner how to apply the techniques, the system, the structure in their everyday life, it's going to make that same experience happen when I'm not there doing the training, right? Otherwise, the dogs will listen or get conditioned to, when he arrives, my mind goes into one mode versus another. And that's what we have to teach the dog, is how to kind of contain this steady mode despite the person or the environments or situations that may kind of make their ability to process what's going around them better or worse. So I had a client who, when we're trying to reach them, it's been back and forth. And the first time I met them, that's why I kind of backtracked to what I was saying, is halfway through the session, she's like, I gotta go just finish up with my housekeeper. And a lot of I learned, look, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm a dog trainer with a lot of influential, high-end and wealthy clientele who have assistants, staff working around them all the time. And sometimes they believe that if they just send the staff with me, they'll be able to do the training, or I do the training for them. So they'll just send me out on my own with the dog. Or they'll be able to pass the information on to them because they're too busy, so they want to get a condensed version of, I got to meet week to week with these clients like a therapist or personal trainer and work through their relationship with their dog and teach them and evolve the different things that we've been applying training-wise. So I find that it never works out, and I've tried, especially when I was out here and I didn't have a lot of clients. I had a full time to fill in my calendar. So now I'm so busy that I want to work with clients that are going to focus. I don't care about how difficult or easy the dog is or where their issues are. It's about the owner's diligence. That's what I pinpoint as my most successful cases, the people who engage this process, the people who do the work consistently. So every time we meet, we're evolving and improving to the point where we get full resolve of the issues or meet their goals for training that they hired me for. And some people, right from the start, I can tell it's not going to go that way. Even if the dog is technically easy, I can accomplish training, pretty simply in my world, but the dog doesn't live with me, right? So I have this person who I knew that in the first session it was going to be difficult, and they've been trying to reach me off and on. Every couple months they'll send a message or a text, and we'll communicate. We try to coordinate, and it's always when the lady is not available. And I'm saying, look, I'm going to try to accommodate the schedule here, but you have to meet me halfway. We need the primary, the owner. here because the dog's acting out around her and her kids and not even so much around the staff. So staff would be good to be part of the session because they should be complementary to what I'm teaching the owner, but the owner is number one. They got to do this. So we made our session. We've been spending like a month trying to coordinate, and today is actually a day where I was supposed to be off most of the afternoon, but I filled it in. If anyone knows Los Angeles, if you're in the San Fernando Valley and you're trying to get to the west side during rush hour, it is you might as well be at the gates of hell. It's not a fun experience. You do it if you have to, but you try to avoid it at all costs. But I did it, and there's usually routes to get through the mountains that avoid the highway, especially if you have a GPS program, so we can cut down the traffic sometimes. So I was willing to do it, but we had fires last week, and a lot of these canyon areas are closed off to kind of fix the damage. So anytime you get halfway, it cuts you back without even notifying the GPS. So long story short, it's going to take me an hour and a half to get there. So I contact them. Okay, can tell them my situation, and I'm going to be late. And I was kind of nervous because this lady seemed a little demanding, and I work with the most demanding of the demanding clients here, but they still tend to respect the fact that I'm busy too, and I'm there to help them, and we have to work together to help with their dog's issue. It's not like I'm just their gardener who's coming to do a service, whether they're there or not. And when trying to communicate that I was running late because of the traffic situation, we realized that she's not there. She's traveling. And I was like, what are you doing? This is the whole point of why we made it happen today, was we thought she was finally going to be there so we could address this. And she wasn't. And what we realized, it wasn't worth it. And look, I'm good. I dodged the bullet. I didn't have to sit in an hour and a half of traffic. But we also, I'm disappointed because this dog is having some real issues as it's getting more mature, and it's going after when they have kids. A very typical formula that I see, that the dog's acting out, overexcited, hyper vigilant around every turn, following the kids, tracking movement, reacting, jumping, clinging to everything going on, always assessing, watching, getting rewarded and babied for this, and no order at all, asking the dog to listen way after the fact, if anything, probably punishing it too, again, after the problems already arise at the time. It's just not a good situation, and the owner has to orchestrate the right structure and order for the dog to be able to fit into the life going on around him. And it's great dogs with kids, but it requires even more structure when you have a young puppy, learning how not to feed into every frenetic movement going on around it. So that's something that has to be addressed. So I had a conversation with the assistant. She wouldn't even she wasn't going to get on the phone, and I talked to, they said 2 assistants. So the other assistant got it. She's like, yeah, I have my dog and I don't have the issues, and this dog listens when we're around. It's just with her and her kids. I'm like, well, that's my point. Why would we take, because I don't even think she's going to work with me for more than the one other session she paid for back when we first met. So I'm like, well, why would we even try to waste our time? It's not about me avoiding sitting in traffic, although it really is. But it's just really like, it's going to be like, you get it. I even said, I go, by what you just told me, how you described the way you are with your dogs, I know you're going to get this. You're going to hear what I tell you and have no problems with it. If even you need to apply it, because the dog probably listens in your presence. And that's the whole point of this video, is that a lot of this is relational. It's just in the presence, and if it's not about like, well, dog listens better to you. Good, dog doesn't listen to me. I got to do the work to teach the dog to filter everything going on around it and act differently in a way that promotes the balance and order and contentment that the dog wants to see, that might happen around other people or their dog trainer or around other dogs. Sometimes in a pack, the dogs act more balanced, just because of the instinct kicking in, that I'm in a place where there's something collectively greater than myself, instead of making it all about me. And that's symbolic for human happiness too. It's why people find higher powers. They don't want to make it all about themselves and their ego, and they tend to relax and diminish their level of how much they have to take on mentally. And that's exactly what goes on with a dog. But we have to be their higher power. The commands, the pack, the order, the structure, the place training, that's their higher power. They rely on that order to have a sense of utility. And if you want to talk conditioning, as many of the people in the training world do, you're creating calmer associations through this training to replace the overstimulated ones, or prevent them from manifesting as a puppy gets older and more agenda minded. So that's my take on it. I think we got a good nice 10-minute video here. And don't forget to subscribe, listen to my podcast. We try to put one out every Monday on iTunes, the Dog Savant Podcast. My show, The Untrainables, comes out every Saturday morning. Facebook watch. Watch that, share, comment. That's good. We're going to hopefully get another season coming. So the more you guys, interact with it, the better chance that is. And just train your dog. Get out there with your dog. I do a lot of those videos to give your dog more exercise, do some activities, do some training. It's only going to benefit them and you. And thanks so much, guys, for supporting what I do. Have a great day.